Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. My name is Mia and I'm so happy to see you all here with me. I hope you all are having a wonderful day wherever you might be and whatever you're doing right now. Maybe you're taking a walk or studying or traveling or just taking a little break from your busy daily life. Either way, thank you so much for coming to listen to this episode. Today, I want to talk about learning a new language. How learning a new language can completely change your life. At first glance, learning a new language might seem simple. It's mostly just learning words, phrases, and grammar, right? Well, I think that's exactly what makes it so great. I personally think of learning a new language as a journey, an exciting, intimidating, and fulfilling journey. Have you ever wondered why or how people choose to learn a new language? Well, some people might have to learn a language for school or university, or some people might want to learn languages for their jobs, or to travel, or to explore different cultures, or just for fun. Whatever the reason may be, know that every language you learn opens up a new world for you. When you start learning a language, everything seems so intimidating and scary. You can barely remember how to introduce yourself. You find yourself spending 5 minutes trying to remember a word that just slipped out of your memory. You might even find yourself saying the wrong thing by mistake and embarrassing yourself. We've all been there. Sometimes the wrong word is said, sometimes the grammatical structure is wrong, and sometimes the whole phrase or sentence ends up being a complete disaster. So, what does one do in these situations? Well, every slip up is a lesson, so no matter what happens, never give up. Every forgotten word is a lesson, so no matter what happens, never give up. Every awkward conversation is a lesson, so no matter what happens, never give up. No mistakes equal no progress after all. Think about kids, for example. When they learn to speak, they make countless mistakes. They say the wrong word. They say words in the wrong order. They pronounce certain words wrong. But they don't stop because they know that they need to practice. Adults, however, seem to forget this. We try to perfect our language skills before we try at all. This kind of thinking just leads to disappointment and frustration, though. You see, it's actually pretty common to struggle through the early stages of language learning. However, as we continue practicing and learning, those previously foreign words start to not seem so foreign anymore. Grammar becomes a lot easier to understand and practice. Listening becomes easier. Reading becomes easier. And slowly but surely, we start to understand songs, movies, books, podcasts, interviews, and conversations in that language that seemed completely indecipherable to us at first. And one day, we'll see a movie in that language and not read a single word of the subtitles. We'll understand every word of our favorite song. We'll read an article in that language without having to read word for word. We'll understand a joke in that language. These little accomplishments may seem small and insignificant to some people, but to those who are learning a new language, these are huge milestones that mark incredible progress in their journey. I think it's also important to mention that learning another language helps you think differently. For example, different languages have different words, phrases, and concepts that aren't present in other languages. Languages have vocabulary words that are unique to them, and languages have certain concepts or ideas that other languages may not have words or phrases for. By discovering the unique parts of another language, you may also discover different ways of thinking. In fact, different languages even have varying degrees of politeness for certain words. By learning a new language, you become a better learner. Instead of thinking about things from just a singular point of view, you're able to think from multiple perspectives, other people's perspectives. This helps us to appreciate the differences between cultures, and it helps us to recognize the beauty in those differences. It helps us to understand that although we may come from different backgrounds and speak different languages and live thousands of miles away from one another, we are all human and we all have the same wants and needs. Many people choose to learn a new language because they want to pursue new job opportunities. That's understandable. Some people choose to learn a new language because they want to study abroad. That's understandable too. Some people want to travel the world and have the ability to understand people in their own language. That's also understandable. Some people just want to experience books, movies, songs, podcasts, interviews, and conversations in different languages. That's understandable as well. But I personally believe that one of the best reasons to learn another language is the opportunity to grow as a person. By learning a new language, you learn patience because language learning is a long process. You also learn discipline because you need to put in the effort and time to become proficient at the language. You also become more curious because you gain so much knowledge from learning the culture that speaks the language too. And you also become more humble because no matter how much you know, there's always something new to learn. So, although a lot of people choose to learn new languages for a variety of reasons, I think it's safe to say that we all choose to learn languages for the same reason to grow as a person. You can never truly be a better person if you can only communicate in one way. Learning languages teaches us how to be better learners, better listeners, and better students of the world. Sometimes people say that they are too old to learn a new language. Sometimes people say that they are not very good at languages. Well, I don't agree with either of those statements. Everyone who speaks a language fluently was at one point a beginner. Everyone who speaks a language confidently was at one point struggling to communicate. Everyone who is knowledgeable about a language was confused about it at one point in their lives. So, what's the difference between you and those people? Nothing except that those people were persistent. They put in the effort. They showed up every day. They kept practicing their language and they kept improving, and eventually they became who they are today. They achieved success not because of one big effort, but 100 little ones. So, if you are learning a language right now, please don't give up. Please don't be discouraged when your grammar isn't correct. Please don't be discouraged when your pronunciation isn't quite there yet. Speak anyway. Practice anyway. Learn anyway. After all, every mistake you make will be a step towards success in your language learning journey. I'll be completely honest with you. Some days you'll feel motivated and other days you won't. Sometimes you'll forget the vocabulary words you learned the other day. Sometimes you'll feel frustrated that you haven't made as much progress as you'd hoped. That's perfectly okay though. Remember that language learning isn't a straight path. It's a winding road with plenty of hills and valleys. One day you might be progressing quickly, and the next day you might feel like you've made no progress at all. But no matter what, just keep showing up. Keep putting in the effort. Keep practicing your language skills. Even if it's just one word a day, or one sentence, or one conversation, or one book, or 1 year's worth of practice, every little bit helps. For me, learning a new language is like opening a door. And behind that door is a whole new world of opportunities, friends, knowledge, and experiences that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And most importantly, it's a new version of myself. Every language I learn gives me a different perspective of the world. It makes me more confident, more curious, more understanding, and more connected with the world than I was before. So, if you've been considering learning a new language, maybe today is the day you decide to start. You don't have to put in hundreds of hours towards one language before you try another either. Just try something little and stick with it. Try learning one new word. Try reading one little paragraph. Try listening to a podcast or watching a video. Writing one sentence or saying one sentence out loud. Do it every single day, and before you know it, you'll have accomplished so much more than you ever expected. Remember that you're not just memorizing words and practicing grammar rules. You're building confidence, developing your mind, and creating so many wonderful opportunities for yourself in the future. And little by little, you're becoming a new version of yourself. So, thank you all so much for your time today. And I hope this episode inspired you to do lots of learning and lots of growing in your life. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing to my channel so you can be notified when I release any new episodes. I can't wait to see you all again when my next episode drops, which will hopefully be soon. Keep up the good work, and I'm so proud of all of you. I'm Mia, and I'll see you all in my next podcast. Take care, stay curious, and goodbye.